Hey, Screaming Geek Media, I'm Jerry the Geek. Today I'm doing a little bit of something different for you. I'm going to talk about the new Top Gun Maverick movie I saw at the theater last night. I never planned on doing any reviews of actual theatrical movies, but last night, on a 3-hour drive home, my mind was racing, all the adrenaline from seeing the movie, and I just thought I wanted to get in front of the camera this morning and give my thoughts about it. But before we do, I'd like to please ask you if you enjoy movies, physical media, and anything like that, please like and subscribe and turn your bell notifications on. I'm constantly doing reviews of 4K movies. I do videos showcasing my custom covers, collection updates, and whatnot. So please do so. I hope you enjoy. So now Top Gun Maverick. All I gotta do is say, wow, what a fucking movie, all I can say. Sorry about the language, but there's no other words to describe it. It's basically Top Gun on steroids. From beginning to end, great story, good drama, connection from the first movie, the action's intense. They took the dogfighting up to a new level. From the get-go, the opening credits, when a Simpson Bruckheimer production logo popped up on the screen, that kind of gave me goosebumps because Don Simpson was Jerry Bruckheimer's partner at the beginning, before Bruckheimer became a big name. Don Simpson was his partner. They produced a lot of movies together, from Flashdance, Beverly Hills Cop, and of course, the Top Gun, Days of Thunder, Crimson Tide. The last one I think Simpson was involved with before he passed was The Rock. Simpson passed back in 1996. So it was really cool, even though he's gone, wasn't involved with this project. It just gave me goosebumps to see his name up there. They're paying homage to where they came from. My wife and I watched the first one just the night before, just to kind of familiarize ourselves with everything. And this one starts out, it has that same look and feel when it starts. The little sunrise on the aircraft carrier uses the same music as the first one as the opening, so it's really cool. It pays a lot of homage to the first one. I thought they did a wonderful job. The first one was directed by Tony Scott, who was, unfortunately, he passed in 2012. He did a lot of movies for Bruckheimer and Don Simpson. He did Beverly Hills Cop 2, he directed Days of Thunder, Crimson Tide. The last one he directed before he passed was Unstoppable with Denzel Washington. And of course, if you didn't know, Tony Scott was a younger brother of the director Ridley Scott, from who, did Alien. At the end of the movie, as the end credits started, and it said "in living memory of Tony Scott," so I thought that was a nice touch. This one was directed by Joseph Kasanki. I probably butchered that name. I'm terrible with names, but he's known for Tron Legacy and Oblivion, another Tom Cruise movie. He's done some other ones, but those are two main ones I think you might be familiar with. Without giving anything away, I will just touch base. I think they did a wonderful job bringing the characters back. Even Val Kilmer, even though it's a small role, all the previews, they show a picture of him. My initial thought was, yeah, that was his involvement, was just slapping a picture up there. But he is actually in the film, so it was really cool to see him back and involved with it. The character of Goose's son involvement, that was pretty good. I wasn't sure how they're going to do that, being because the age-wise, it's been, I think, 36 years since the first Top Gun. But it was cool how they did the story and brought him in and the other pilots. Flying action in this film, they've really ramped it up on this. It was insane. Another cool thing I thought what they did with the enemy pilots, instead of making them look not knowing what they're doing, they actually made them look as good as the U.S. pilots. Showcasing the U.S. isn't the only country out there that has great fighter pilots. They show some of the moves in it. There's one scene that they did something, and I was like, holy fuck, what the hell did he just do? It was insane. This movie will keep you on the edge of your seat throughout the whole thing. We loved it. I can't wait to watch it again. Unfortunately, just good movie theaters are 3 hours away in Wichita. So we'll probably have to do when it comes onto Paramount Plus. I'll definitely be watching it a few times, and when it comes out on 4K, I'll definitely be picking it up. Now, about the theater itself, we went to see it at an AMC, a Dolby Cinema screen. And I tell you, if you've not experienced a movie on Dolby Cinema, you have to try it out. I mean, yes, IMAX is great, but Dolby Cinema just kicks your ass. It's kind of like going from having a DVD and you get a Blu-ray or 4K. It's that much of a difference in the picture and audio. This theater, I'm not sure what brand of speakers they use, but they're lined across the walls and back. They're humongous, hanging up there. And I don't know where the subs are placed. We were sitting in a back row up against the wall, and I swear the subs are right under our ass. Our seats are just, they're knocking the shit out of us. It was insane. Every time a little thump or explosion happened, you know, my wife, I could see her jump. It was funny. But yeah, Dolby Cinema screens, I've seen 3 of them now. Last year I saw Halloween Kills on one in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Earlier this year we saw Fantastic Beasts, Secrets of Dumbledore in Wichita. And that's where I went back to Wichita to see this Top Gun Maverick. It's kind of like the Dolby Cinema reminds you of what THX was back in the day. There was a certification program to make sure you get the best movie experience you could. I still remember reading articles that if you opened a theater back then, if you wanted THX, you had to pay like an additional $60,000 to get their certification. You know, they'd come in and do acoustic treatments. They would tell you what you need to have, and they would have everything set up, and then you can use THX and all our advertisements to get people in for it. And you had to be recertified once a year to make sure you stay up to par with their standards. But of course, THX is really non-existent anymore, so I think that's what Dolby Cinema is now, is to use their name. That's my guess, is that's what they are all about. They have a certain set of standards they want the cinema to meet, and so far I've been very impressed. If you've not, like I said, if you haven't experienced a Dolby Cinema, you have to do it. If you can see Top Gun Maverick on it, go for it. It is worth the money if you can go check it out. The movie itself was great, and you know, Dolby Cinema is just icing on the cake. You know, we could have seen it on IMAX. You know, sure, IMAX is the bigger screen, but because it's framed differently, it's not widescreen. It's a different animal. I mean, the IMAX experience is great. I know we saw Uncharted earlier this year. I'm content with watching a regular non-IMAX on a Dolby Cinema. I just can't stress that enough. You have to experience it. Like I said, I didn't plan on doing a review of this, and like I said, the drive home last night, my mind was racing. I mean, the adrenaline from this movie is insane. You know, my wife and I were just constantly talking about it coming home, and it is one of the best movies I've seen in years. It lives up to expectations and surpasses it by a mile. I mean, it's hard to believe. You know, I like when they take it, instead of rebooting a movie, you know, they do a continuation like they did with Tron. The new Jumanji's actually, they were a reboot, but at the same time they weren't, because they tied it in with the first one. So that's why I like to do with Top Gun. They continued the story 30-some years later. I thought it was very well done. Add to the fact that the actors went through training to actually learn how to fly and play director doing the filming, and it was really, really good. You have to watch this movie. So I hope you enjoyed this little impromptu video that I didn't plan. But please, if you enjoy this, please check out my other videos on my channel. Like and subscribe, and turn your bell notifications on. I definitely have more coming. Geek out.